Hello grade 11s. This is our final lesson on models and plans, and today we're going to be doing a mixed question that comes out of a past paper. Okay, now we're going to have a look at a drawing of a bicycle that is used for selling ice creams, and it has the cooler box on. Okay, here we've got a side view of the bicycle, and here is the cooler. It's on the front. Okay, it's this portion over here. There, and then it goes along here and it comes down here. Okay, you can just see it behind there. Okay, so that's a side view of the bicycle. Okay, let's have a look at the top view. Okay, here's the top view of the bicycle. You can see there's the cooler box. It's now 45 centimeters wide. Okay, and that length we saw on the other diagram. If we have a look over here, it's 80 centimeters. Okay, so that one there is 80 centimeters. And then, of course, the cooler box is 46 centimeters high. Okay, now, if this cooler box is drawn to scale, I want you to determine the dimensions of the lid of the cooler box. Okay, and we have to show all the working. Okay, so what we want to know is we want to know what the actual size of this lid of the cooler box is. Now remember, in a tester exam, you're going to have to take a ruler and you are going to have to accurately measure that. Okay, but for purposes of this, I'm going to tell you that this distance over here is 3 centimeters when you actually measure it on the diagram. Okay, so now we need to determine the scale. So remember what we do with scale. You're going to have the distance on the plan to your actual distance. Okay, so on the plan, I've told you it's 3 centimeters, and the actual distance you can see is 45 centimeters. So now they're already in the same unit, so all we need to do is divide both sides by 3. So this side gives you 1, and 45 divided by 3 gives you 15. So the scale of our diagram is 1 in 15. Okay, so now we need to determine the dimensions of the lid. Okay, so now I need to give you these as well. So this lid on the diagram measures 1,8 centimeters, and this one here is 1,4 centimeters. So to find the actual size, we're going to have to take these two dimensions and multiply them by the 15. Okay, so the 1,8 centimeter, we multiply that by 15. Let's get the calculator. So it's 1.8 times 15. That gives us 27 centimeters. Okay, so that's going to be the length. And the breadth of the cooler box lid, okay, 1.4. So 1.4 multiplied by 15 gives you 21 centimeters. Okay, let's have a look at our next question. The walls of the cooler box are 8 centimeters thick to ensure good insulation. Okay, and we want to know what are the internal dimensions of the box. Okay, so the walls are 8 centimeters thick. Okay, so let's first find the external dimensions. Okay, so if we have a look here, the external dimensions are 80 centimeters by 45 centimeters, and the height is 46 centimeters. So we've got to take those three and we have to subtract 16 centimeters from each. Remember, your insulation is going to be inside here, and it's going to be 8 centimeters all around. So there you're going to have 8 centimeters, and here as well, and all around the sides and the top as well. So we're going to have to take off 16 centimeters off each of those. Okay, so our external dimensions are 80 by 46 by 45. Okay, and then we have to subtract 8 times 2, which is 16 centimeters from each of those. Okay, so our internal dimensions are going to be 80 minus 16, which gives you 64. 46 minus 16 gives you 30 centimeters, and 45 minus 16 gives us 29 centimeters. Okay, let's look at our next question. Okay, the ice creams that are sold by the company come in tubs with a diameter of 7 centimeters. And the height of the tubs is 5,4 centimeters. Now on the side of the tub, it shows that the ice cream, the content in the containers is 200 milliliters. Okay, now I want you to use this, and we're going to use the formula. The volume of a cylinder is pi r squared h to determine whether in fact the amount says on that it says on the container is the correct amount. And we did another piece of information, that is that 1 milliliter is equal to 1 cubic centimeter. Okay, so we've got to take our formula and we've got to substitute our values in. So it's going to be pi. Right, what is our radius going to be? You've got to take our 7 centimeters and we have to divide it by 2 for our radius. In other words, it's going to be 3,5. Okay, so this is going to be 3,5 centimeters squared, and then our height is 5,4. Okay, so let's do that on the calculator. Okay, so we're going to go pi, multiply that by 3.5 squared, and we've got to multiply that by the height 5.4. Okay, so that gives us 207,81. Okay, so it's 207,81. This is cubic centimeters, but 1 milliliter is 1 cubic centimeters, which means the capacity of this tub is about 208 milliliters. Okay, in other words, it is correct. The tub probably does contain 200 milliliters. Okay, now you're going to do a homework question now. Okay, now if Thabo places a single block of ice with dimensions 20 by 20 by 20 centimeters in the cooler box at the start of each day, we need to estimate how many ice cream tubs will be able to fit inside the cooler box. And you must show all your detailed calculations. Okay, now here's a diagram of what the top of the cooler box will look like. Okay, so the gray area over here is your ice. Okay, it shows you the rest of the space that is left here and over this side as well. And here it's saying 7 centimeters is the diameter of your tub. Okay, remember that the height of the box is 30 centimeters.